time I'll have a breakthrough and I'll get a release, right? And drumming used to do that for me quite often. I would drum with the inmates in my unit, and I'd organize it at nighttime. And we would drum and I would feel a sense of release. So I always say singing, crying, and laughing is a release of emotion, right? And being a man, you try to be so stoic, which is good and bad. It has its time and its place, but being stoic about showing emotion. So it's a bad thing in some regards too, but also if you're angry, it might be a good thing. Because you get yourself in a lot of trouble by responding to your angry thoughts or unleashing your anger or your rage, right? And that's where my wrestling name came from. It was actually a part of me, right? I used to use anger to keep people away because I was vulnerable and didn't want to be criticized or didn't want to be hurt. So I would just push away with anger. So it became my gimmick almost for my wrestling character too, right? As my wrestling character, Rage would take a beating, typically from a bigger wrestler, and eventually he would rage up and start firing back and make his comeback, for example. But it was anger. Rage is anger. And people like the character Rage, but they don't like Rage. And he's unleashed by accident by Clint.
Oh, and
I have a bad temper.
That's right.
Because I've been conditioned to have a bad temper. Because I learned that having a bad temper scares people away.
Well, it keeps you on. Don't fuck with that guy. Don't mess with this guy.
It keeps me safe, and it makes it appear that I'm unstable, which also keeps me from being potentially bullied, right?
And it's like almost like for me, like I feel like I relate to that quite a bit. Like I've got in trouble for a lot of outbursts that were not good and got expelled, or suspended, and I felt like I was protecting that inner child inside me, that vulnerable piece. And so I like had all these things where it's like when I got into boxing to do that, and weightlifting too, and it was like I got into, because like I was getting picked on, I was getting bullied, and I was getting called those like homophobic slurs too. And then it was like, well, fuck this, and I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna be pissed off. And now it's like, okay, I gotta heal those things, and I gotta look at those things. And a lot of the things I do now is I don't know if you ever heard of shadow work, but I do those things and I ask myself those questions. And I also feel like I have an alter ego thing. And it lets me be, like I try to integrate that dark shadow side into myself. I used to look at it as malevolent and evil and like those things, and now I look at it as, it depends what I do with it, determines that. It's almost like learning to, like if you go use a gun, you can go use it to hunt and provide for your family, or you can go like rob a bank. It's like that. And so what I had to do is I had to come and learn to love my whole self. And one of the things I'm trying to learn to love is like the part of me that doesn't feel good enough or doesn't want to, I guess, like just wants to not do anything. And it's like, it's like an ongoing journey, ongoing process.
Well, I just found something for that, and just in the last couple of days I found it. I was watching, because I like to watch a lot of YouTube when my brain goes in a certain direction, like to figure things out. So they said, when you have that self-critical mind telling you can't do it, you're not good enough, believing things people had called you and so forth, they said, name that person. Name that person. Who's that person? And give them a name. So Frank, for example, right? And then you tell Frank, hey Frank, I'm not listening to you.
Not listening to your shit.
I know I'm better than this. I know I can do this because I've done this, and people actually like me when you're not in my ear, right? And so basically you're devil on your shoulder. And the second thing I came to realize a little while ago as I started back up my own wrestling promotion, which I may have been in a little bit of a manic phase, I'm thinking, but what if you truly believe you could do anything you wanted to? What if you truly believe that? Which is very hard to comprehend. And for a short little stint there, when I bought my wrestling ring and I got my business license and so forth, I truly believed I could do whatever I wanted to, which was start my own wrestling federation up and hire some guys and do some shows. And I'm doing it, but I'm doing it now more because I got the ball rolling. I'm not finding any joy in it, but I'm doing it almost as work now. For those 1 or 2 weeks, I truly believed I could do anything that I wanted to do. And it was an amazing feeling because I didn't have those self-imposed limitations. I didn't have Frank talking in my ear for like 1 or 2 weeks.
That's totally cool. I did an exercise, this was a long time ago, but it was like all that negative thinking, I shouldn't do that, I'm not good enough, or like it's like, and then you can imagine it as like something like a small fucking ugly creature that has like a really annoying, gross voice, and you're just like, and you like, oh, but like, screw you thing. It's like I can do whatever I want, I can pursue these things, but it's like, it's almost like making it small and like powerless in a way.
Well, in Christianity, that'd be your demon, right? You'd have a demon, demon of doubt, or the demon of self-hatred or self-loathing.
And I think actually those would be something that I can see as like the Christian faith as something that is legit, I guess, in a way.
Well, there's certain aspects probably of every religion that you could utilize to better yourself, but I think just naming Frank. And I never named him, and I was even wondering what I was going to name him yesterday, but just now I named him Frank.
It's Frank.
I don't even know where Frank came. It is what it is now. His name's Frank.
Is that me, myself, and Irene?
What's
Here comes Hank.
Oh, Hank.
Hank and I forget what the other guy's name is. But,
Dewey. No, that was the other character.
I know there's another guy named they called Milky or something. So was there a moment where something shifted for you, where the old ways of handling things stopped working? So like, say if there's something that you were doing, or like maybe I don't know if it's behavior or feeling, and something that you were doing that was not working, and it was something that you felt like had to shift or change.
Well, hobby-wise, I was doing karate for a while. I went back to karate after doing jiu-jitsu and then karate, and I felt because I'm an obsessive person, I would just obsess about something new. So I obsessed on karate and then karate tournaments, and I was doing basically one a week. And then my anger even started to come out there, because I was just so angry and so frustrated, and I knew I had to switch things up. And that's about the time I went off work and I sought professional help because I could, because I had to. I was ticking time bomb. I was to explode and for whoever was around me. And so I can't even predict how it would have gone. But I had to do my own little intervention, and I had to leave my workplace, and that was the biggest thing, right? Because that would have kept me just in that survival mode from day to day. And I used to be awfully sick every morning. I was compounded PTSD from a series of events, right? And I used to every morning in the shower, especially before day one. And I used to always say to everybody, how come nobody sleeps before day one? Because you're so worried, because you have 6 days in prison where anything can happen, and you could be subject to any liability or any time criticism, so you start to fear what others think. And if you're not capable of doing your job in the moment, even though you are, and you've proven yourself a million times, you'll never get noticed for the times you've proven yourself, only for the times that they could throw the book at you and discipline you, for example. So I got really fearful in my job to the point where every morning I would be, but especially before day ones, I would have panic attacks in the shower. But I didn't want to show it to anybody. My panic attack would occur in the shower, and I'd be choking to the point sometimes I'd black out, and I'd hit the tub, and I'd have to lower myself and sit down, right? Because I was choking, and I realized later it was actually panic attacks, right? My throat was closing off because I was so anxious.
And that's not a good feeling, too.
No.
It's not.
Besides that, I just ran on adrenaline and caffeine and alcohol, and then I realized none of that's effective,
No.
right? For feeling the way that I felt, and I had to seek professional help. I had no choice, right?
It was like counseling, or was it?
Just the whole intervention with WorkSafe, where I was off work. I've been off work before trying to deal with it, and every time I went back under peer pressure, too worried about what my peers thought. But eventually I didn't care what my peers thought. I knew I was done. The day I knew I was done, and I was done 100%. They were going to have to retrain me for something else, right? But instead I'm retired, right? Medically retired, right? I took an early pension just for my own mental health, right? I had no choice. The damage was done, and I'm still struggling with it, and it's several years later. I think it's 4 years later already, so that I've been off work. But it was 2010 when I suffered my first blow, I guess you could say, or incident that caused my initial PTSD that I never dealt with appropriately. And that's the biggest thing, is you have to deal with those things as they unfold.
Well, and that's good too. That's good that you came to a place. And then, like, I don't give a shit what any of you think. I'm doing this for me. And like standing up for yourself, like, that's fucking admirable. Like, I think it's very important that you did that, and I'm glad that you did that.
I didn't do it necessarily consciously. It was just, I just couldn't do it what I was doing any longer, which was fake it till you make it. Couldn't fake it any longer.
No.
I was screaming on the inside, and I needed help. It just is what it is. And like I say too, with my PTSD, it is what it is, and I don't have a choice whether it's fight or flight. It just goes. And then if I can't get my mind wrapped quick, it's fight or flight. Right? It's one or the other.
And that's the survival piece that we're all wired with.
And I'm still learning all that, but most of my learning it had occurred from avoidance. So I spent so long of a time avoiding other people, because avoiding incidents, for example,